So being a gay or a transgender could be a crime in a country like Saudi Arabia, whereas transgenders are beating the crap out of women in sports in a country like, let's say, the US. So what is really a crime, right? It depends which country you're talking about. But overall, what I feel is corrupt politicians, they're the ones who commit crime. And if you don't follow some of what they say, then you're the one who goes to jail. So you got to follow the laws. Whoever sets it, laws are the laws. It all depends upon, as I said, which country we're talking about. In the second part of this video, I'm going to discuss 3 weak passports which could actually be the strongest if you look at it in a different way. So stay tuned. A lot of people who talk about plan Bs, they don't understand anything. I would say 85 to 90% of the people who watch this stuff don't understand what a plan B is. Plan B does not mean visa-free access. It's far away from that. Plan B is freedom from some of the craziness. And when you talk about a weak passport, yes, access does not hurt. Obviously, more is better. But when you talk about Plan B, it's a getaway. It's a place where you have certain rules. And I'm talking about legal stuff here. You got to keep things absolutely legal. The whole point of this, the whole point of having a Plan B is to be legally sound, have all your legal strategies in place. Your one citizenship gives you certain access to certain set of rules and laws which can be in your favor. Half of them could be against you, right? That's where you want to complement things perfectly. Now, when you have a portfolio of citizenships or passports, you have your stronger ones in terms of the access. On one side, they give you access to certain benefits. They all have pros and cons. You got to be aware of what the cons are. And then when you have certain weaker passports in your portfolio, they can provide you that perfect complement, that perfect blend, that perfect plan B. So you have your plan A and then you have your plan B. Now, when you talk about the whole citizenship and the whole access to legal stuff, right? Now, your home country rules have to be followed. So even if you're benefiting from your plan B country, let's say you're in that jurisdiction, then you got to follow the laws of that land. I'll give you a quick example. Let's talk taxation here, right? In your plan A country, sometimes even if you don't report your bank account, you can have penalties, and the penalties can be draconian. And then it further gets complicated when you cross the number of years. It can run into the tens and thousands, right? Contrast that with a weaker passport or a different jurisdiction where half the population doesn't even know how to file taxes properly. You should file everything correctly, follow the laws. The point over here is not to miss on any of the deadlines or any of that stuff. Everything should be in order. I can't stress more. But what I'm saying is, when you have access to more freedom, more flexibility, that is to your advantage in that land. So if you cut your ties with your home country and just following this jurisdiction, then you should be fine. But let's say you're working with both the two, you are still attached to your home country, then you have to worry about your home country expectations as well as this weaker jurisdiction or weaker passport country expectations. But the larger point here is Plan B is not visa-free access. Sometimes your weaker passport can save your life in certain situations. So you want that in your portfolio. We're not discussing right and wrong things over here. That should always be right. Needless to say, always seek legal advice, immigration advice where appropriate. This is educational content and my personal assessment and analysis on this topic. All right, now let's talk about the weak passports, right? The first one on my list is in Asia. It's the Cambodian citizenship by investment. A lot of people say who is going to get this and whatnot. People from China would even go for a Laos at $1.5 million. Are they crazy? Are they stupid? No, there's certain other reasons. That's a plan B. As I said, it's not an access document. So someone can get, a Laos citizenship for $1.5 million, then you're talking about Cambodia at $250K. So that's, again, it all depends. Different strokes for different folks, and everyone's needs are different. You can't compare a Caribbean passport to a Cambodian passport and say that that's the stronger one. It's absolute bullshit. Then you don't understand Plan Bs at all. I'm sorry to say that. The $250K is the donation, and then you have a bunch of processing fees. The second weak passport I'd like to talk about is the Dominican Republic. Again, as early as 2 years, you can actually apply for citizenship. The requirement is fairly relaxed. It's $200K of investments, and this is US dollars. in the country, in a business, and then you can easily qualify for your immediate permanent residency, and then you can actually acquire this citizenship. After 2 years, you can apply for citizenship and get this week passport. This week passport has access to Brazil, Russia, Japan, if you call that week, it has that. And then obviously there's some other very interesting benefits and use cases of a Dominican Republic passport. The third week passport on my list is Egypt, a lifesaver passport for a lot of people. Egypt does not have great access. It's a weak passport in that sense. But when you take a look at some of the other advantages that you have in the Middle Eastern countries, then that could be an interesting option. The cost of Egyptian CBI is pretty interesting, is $250K donation, which not a lot of people would be interested in. But what a lot of people would be interested in is the $300K in a condo, right? A property in Egypt that can get you the same Egyptian passport. There's also another one that I'd like to point out here. The fourth week passport, not that week, but still nonetheless, the access isn't the greatest, is in the Africas, is South Africa. You start off with a permanent residency. This is a flexible permanent residency. So a lot of people jump up and down, talk about the access, how poor it is, weak it is, how unsafe the country is. My friend, you got to understand it's a flexible residency, so you can live as much as you want if you really find it safe and love the country, or you can keep it flexible. You start off with the permanent residency, then that leads to citizenship at the end. In the 5th year, you can apply for your citizenship. You only have minimal residency requirements of a year towards the end. So that's an interesting weak second passport that you can have in your portfolio. Let me know in the comments if there's any other weak passport that you would prefer and you would like me to cover. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you're always up to date on all the latest and greatest developments within the RCBI domain. And catch you in the next one.